What is up, and welcome to SGPN's The Daily Dog. I'm Britton Hess. I'm here with my favorite Underdog fantasy pick'em plays for Thursday, February 20th, 2025. If you're new to Underdog Fantasy, sign up promo code DailyDog, DAILYDOG at UnderdogFantasy.com or in the Underdog Fantasy app. Get 50% deposit match bonus. Get your money's worth if you're getting in on there. Having extra entries is a massive advantage when it comes to turning money. If you've been following my social media $5 challenge with these pick'em sites, you'll see that I hunt for the deposit bonuses. I hunt for the boosts. I hunt for the free squares. All that stuff is massive. And, more often than not, when I'm doing that, I'm agnostic in that series. By the way, I go from Underdog to some of the other guys. But more often than not, I end up on Underdog anyway, just because the promos they offer for existing members as well as new members are so great. There's boosts on Underdog right now for NBA. There was NBA yesterday. There's tennis and soccer, and I think hockey as well if you haven't used it yet on Underdog, 33% boost. So get on there. If you're not new, you can still get boosts. If you're new, use promo code DailyDog, DAILYDOG at UnderdogFantasy.com to get that 50% deposit match bonus worth up to $1,000. All right, NBA is back. Four Nations Faceoff today. We got tennis today. We got a little college hoops today. So lots to get to in the world of Underdog today. We're going to go with NBA entry number one. I'm no Russell Westbrook. Missed some time. Hasn't played in February yet. Higher than 10.5 points. He's been averaging over this. He's been doing good. When he's been playing, he's not been healthy, but he is healthy now. I am going to be on Russell Westbrook higher than 10.5 points because I think that it could be a very successful offensive game for the Nuggets. They have lots of very successful offensive games. But the Hornets, after winning in LA, I doubt they're going to go back-to-back here. Give me Russell Westbrook higher than 10.5 points. I think he's going to try to get some minutes. I don't know if he's going to play, full 30-plus minutes in this game. But again, the right moments, man off the bench, I think that he's going to have some opportunities to get 11 or more points in this game because it is the Hornets, and they don't really stop anybody. And the Nuggets are so good at finding ways to score the basketball. And Russell Westbrook, again, he's averaging well over this. I think that his first game back, he's had plenty of time to rest and get healthy. He's going to get 11 points here. Next, I'm going to go with Precious Achiuwa, higher than 9.5 points as the Knicks host the Bulls. Precious out to play a lot more due to some of the injuries on the Knicks right now. I should be starting. I think that the guys, trying to get boards for the Bulls are not very impressive. And, their center, Nikola Vucevic, is more of an offensive player than defensive player. I think Precious is going to have a defined role here, just cleaning up under the basket, getting the boards, and, making his extra minutes count. 3.18x multiplier with Russell Westbrook higher than 10.5 points and Precious Achiuwa higher than 9.5 rebounds. NBA number 2, Evan Mobley higher than 16.5 points. He had, since they've made some trades and kind of got rid of Karis LeVert, who you don't necessarily think is going to affect Evan Mobley's production. Evan Mobley has been scoring more. I think it's just because they need more offensive production out of him because that bench guy isn't scoring as much. So Mobley has to take more shots, get more buckets. I think Evan Mobley higher than 16.5 points here is a good spot against the Nets. Then Paolo Banchero higher than 24.5 points against the Atlanta Hawks. I think that Banchero has been playing really well. I think that trade I talked about with Cleveland, Atlanta got worse defensively. A big man, a big wing like Paolo Banchero is going to have no problem scoring a lot of points in this game. And it should be actually a really fun game to watch. Jalen Suggs still out for the Nuggets, or for the Magic, unfortunately. But I do think Banchero is going to have a big game higher than 24.5 points. All right, Four Nations Face-Off number 1. This one I gave out on Tuesday. Hellebuyck, lower than 2.5 goals allowed for Team USA. Sidney Crosby, higher than 1.5 shots for Canada. This one has been chewed up a little bit. It's now at 2.4x. It was 2.52x when we put it out there. That being said, if you're like me and you think it's going to be a low-scoring game and you like USA to win it, then Hellebuyck lower than 2.5 goals allowed is a good one, and Sidney Crosby should be, very high likelihood to have 2 shots on goal. So 2.4x is still okay. 2.52x obviously better. The entry I gave out yesterday hasn't moved. Jordan Binnington lower than 26.5 saves, and Brady Tkachuck higher than 0.5 points. 3.39x multiplier is still out there. I know that Brady's health is a concern. Binnington lower than 26.5 saves is a lower than 26.5 saves though. I think that it's going to be a lower scoring game. There's not going to be a lot of bad shots on net, so there's not going to be easy saves. And I also think that he's going to give up more goals than Hellebuyck, so that's less saves potentially, depending on the amount of shots coming at him. But again, I don't think it's going to be a ton of, just throw the puck at the net type game. I think it's going to be a lot more controlled with possession here. So 3.39x with that one. The one I'm adding today is basically a lotto. I'm going Jack Hughes, first goal scorer. Jack Hughes hasn't scored a goal in the tournament yet. Jack Hughes, obviously a very capable scorer, but he hasn't done it yet. I'm going with Hughes, first goal of the game here. I'm going, again, it's a big one, but I'm going Jack Hughes higher than 0.5 first goal scored, or yes, first goal scorer, whatever is easier for you to find. Jack Hughes, first goal scorer, big 8.55x multiplier on that. Pairing it with Cale, Makar, higher than 2.5 shots. Again, I think that late in the game, they're just going to be throwing it at the net because I think the USA is going to be up. I think Makar's going to get 3 shots on goal. Hughes, first goal scorer, Makar, higher than 2.5 shots, 28.72x multiplier. All right, let's, I know, as if I didn't give you the preview, I think USA wins. I think it's a low scoring game. I think it's probably like 3-1 USA, if I were to guess. So, that's my overall thoughts on the Four Nations Faceoff. Sorry to our Canada listeners and viewers. But I think there's a reason why USA won game 1. I don't think necessarily things have changed. I know health is a concern, but I'm going with USA here. That's why my 3 Four Nations Faceoff entries are the way they are. All right, college basketball has been pretty good last 2 days. Hit slip on both Tuesday and Wednesday. Today we're going to go with Derik, Queen of Maryland, higher than 16.5 points. He has been hot lately. He's been into the 20s quite frequently. I don't think USC is going to really slow him down, so I'm going to be taking Derik, Queen, higher than 16.5 points. Then I'm going with Bruce Thornton of Ohio State, higher than 16.5 points. Again, getting over this number more often than not as of late. I think 4 of his last 5 games, he's had 17 plus points. Northwestern coming to town. Northwestern, one of the worst teams in the Big Ten this year. Ohio State, extremely inconsistent, but I think Bruce Thornton at home is going to be able to put up some points here. So Derik, Queen, higher than 16.5 points at home for Maryland. Bruce Thornton, higher than 16.5 points at home for Ohio State. 3x multiplier. All right, next we are going to go to some tennis. Francisco Cerundolo, higher than 21.5 games played. Cerundolo obviously just played a final, which he lost against João Fonseca in his native Argentina last week on Sunday. But now he is taking on Luciano Darderi. Luciano Darderi, not the greatest player in the world. Cerundolo just isn't a consistent player. I think that there's going to be 3 sets in this one. I think Cerundolo is going to get it done. He's obviously a big favorite, minus 345. But again, I just don't think it's going to be quite as easy as you would expect. I think that they are going to go 3. So give me Francisco Cerundolo higher than 21.5 games played. And obviously, if we get a tiebreak in there, hey, that really helps things out. And we can probably get there in 2 sets as well. Next, we're going to go with Thomas Martin Echeverri, higher than 22 games played against Alex Mueller. Alex Mueller, I don't really love as a player, but you know what? He's playing well. So, I can't really fade him. Echeverri, again, is another guy who can kind of find a way to grind out matches. I think 3 sets is probably in order here on these clay courts of Rio de Janeiro. So higher than 22 games played for him. Again, he's a pretty solid favorite in this one, about minus 230. But I think that it's going to be a fairly tightly contested match. So give me over 22 games, higher than 22 games played with Francisco Cerundolo, higher than 41.5 games played. 3x multiplier if both of those matches go a little bit longer. Next, we are going to go to our lotto entry for the day. We're going to go with Jack Hughes, higher than 0.5 goals. Yes, I have him as the first goal scorer, but I think that he's going to score a goal in this game. Just in general, I think, again, he's ready to make his presence known for Team USA at this Four Nations Faceoff. Jack Hughes, higher than 0.5 goals. He had 5 shots on goal last game against Sweden. I'm not necessarily guaranteeing he's going to, get the puck on net quite that much here. But, I think that maybe he's getting a little more comfortable shooting in this setting with his Team USA teammates. Jack Hughes, higher than 0.5 goals. Then we go Tyrese Haliburton, higher than 29.5 points, rebounds, and assists as Memphis comes to town. Again, coming off the break, I think Memphis potentially could be a little sleepier here than the Pacers. The Pacers were kind of banged up and kind of worn down heading into the break. So hopefully that they're going to have a lot of guys making shots. Tyrese Haliburton can get double-digit assists. That would be beautiful. 20 points. We're already there. A couple rebounds, just icing on the cake for us. So Tyrese Haliburton, higher than 29.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Then I'm going with Franz Wagner, higher than 2.5 3-pointers made. He hit 3 last time he played Atlanta before the break. Obviously he's averaging 2 3-pointers per game on the season. So he needs to go a little bit above average here, but that's why it's an enhanced multiplier. And again, he just did this against this team before the break. So Franz Wagner higher than 2.5 3-pointers made. Last one, Chris Paul higher than 9.5 points. This is always his number, but our man, Victor Wembanyama out for the season. Very sad news there. Hit blood clot in his shoulder, so out for the rest of the year. Very, very sad stuff and very scary stuff for, bright star. Seems like a good kid for San Antonio. I think that Chris Paul might be a little less reluctant to shoot in the first half because of that. I mean, if you watch these Spurs games, Paul won't throw up a shot until like 2 minutes left in the third quarter in some of these games. So hopefully he starts shooting earlier and you can get over 9.5 points for us. This is a 23.02x multiplier, or if you flex it, 13.81x/3.45x. All right, that's all I got for you today. Let's make some money.